She'll get here eventually, but I'm sure we can get started with that.
All right. In that case, let's just go around for introductions here. So, I'm Fencer42, the DM. You can call me Sterling though, because it's just easier to say than Fencer42.
Sterling.
Yep. So that's my real name, but I don't care. Small group. I don't expect any of you guys are gonna track me down. So, I'm your DM for this campaign. I've been DMing on and off for about 4 years of Pathfinder. I've been playing tabletop since I've been probably playing tabletop for 12 years, but Pathfinder specifically for 5. I've worked with a whole wide variety of types of groups, but almost all of the groups that I've played with have had at least one person who's never played tabletop before. So, because I'm always trying to get new people in, so I'm really excited to be DMing a group that is really familiar with a lot of these systems, a lot of conventions of tabletop. So that's something that I'm really excited for. So that's me. So I don't know, who wants to introduce themselves next?
I'll go next. I'm Philby. What?
Hi, Philby.
Hi.
Hey, Philby.
Hi, Philby.
Hi, Philby or Will. I did GM a Pathfinder game about 6 years ago, and I have kept up with the game since then. Don't know what else to say. I don't like GMing. I would rather play. And yes, that's it. And I'm playing a dwarf. Anyone else?
How about Duker? How about you? You've been silent for a bit.
Yeah, I usually when there's this many people, I usually try to be the quiet one so I don't disturb others speaking.
But you're one of the main players, man.
Yeah, I know, but that's just how I am. That's how I tend to be. Anyway, hi, I am me.
I
know
know
you.
Well, I've been part of a wide variety of various systems for a little bit. The only long-term system I've been part of is Warhammer Fantasy and D&D 5th. Yay.
Well, I suppose I'll go next. I'm Weimar. I've played tabletop games for like a decade, but not in person since like the first game. I've got experience in a couple of systems from Weimar, Dungeons and Dragons, and all that stuff. Did it. And I'm playing a halfling paladin who's basically just that guy who picked up a pitchfork and a wooden plank and decided to go on a quest or whatever.
Sounds good.
And I'm guessing raocow probably doesn't need an introduction in this group.
My name is raocow. I'm a guy.
Hello, a guy.
Hi, Samuel.
Hi, a guy.
Just to give a bit like everyone else, I think I'm the one that's been into role-playing for the least amount of time. Most of you are aware of Cordex, but since then I've played D&D 5 and Pathfinder. I mostly played martial classes, and this is an opportunity for me to play spellcaster instead.
All right. Well, I'm really excited to have you all here. So one thing I do want to start off with is just pointing out that all the things that you should need for today are under the pinned messages section of the advanced group. So you've got the editable Pathfinder character sheet if you'd like to use that one. That's the Pathfinder character sheet that I use. That's the style that I use for, I guess, my true Pathfinder. That's like the one true Pathfinder character sheet that I use for all my stuff. So whenever I'm referencing, it should be on your character sheet here. I'm probably referring to it in reference to the main Pathfinder character sheet, this one. At the same time, I don't mind how you store your character sheets, just as long as each time you level up, I do want you guys to send me your new character sheet, just so I can keep track of what everybody's stats and setup is like, as well as so I can create character sheets to post up on the Google Drive, which I will share the link to, so that all of our lovely viewers, as well as your other players, can check out and see how your stats are doing. So I imagine that's going to be something that the Patreon people will like to take a look at as the real sessions start to get going.
Yeah,
Next up, what was that?
No, Never mind.
Okay. Next up, there's the advanced raocow role-playing character and player info table, which is where I'm going to want you to put a lot of your information that we get today. So this is probably going to be something that's going to be edited basically once, and that's going to be it's going to be for a nice quick reference for all of us to know who's playing, what their character names are, what their race and class, and whatever weird archetypes they might have are, as well as what their base stats are. So I do strongly recommend that the stuff that you come up with today, you put in there, and there's also some other questions for player info toward the end, which will basically help me get an idea of more what kind of players you guys are, and also what sort of stuff I can steal ideas from without being called out on it. It's very important.
Fair enough.
Next up is the character creation guide that I wrote out. If you want to have that open, you're more than welcome to. Although you don't need to have that open.
I got it.
That's a really good guide, by the way.
Yeah, I made sure it was very comprehensive. I wrote it for actually one of my buddies who was DMing for the first time a while back, and he was like, I need to know how to create all the characters for my party. And I was like, let me write something up for you. And then it turned into this whole big thing. And hopefully it's both informative and maybe a little entertaining as well. And then the final pin message is the Roll20 board itself. So our listeners are more than welcome to join in. So just click that link and you'll be brought right to the Roll20 board. Keep in mind that it'll probably immediately try to display both your video and audio, but that can be turned off in the gear settings in the upper right of the board. And right now, just for today, it's basically just kind of the world map. We're not really going to be using it yet, but that's going to be where all the actual board stuff is going to be for future sessions, that is. So, for example, if you guys are going through a dungeon, we're going to be actually doing tile exploration on a map on Roll20. And also that's where I'm going to be showing a lot of the art, for example. And next up, I guess, we just get right into the character creation.
Sweet.
So, what race and class is everybody going to be officially? Because now is the time where you need to decide. And I want you to put that in that big old spreadsheet as well, just so that I can have a quick reference for that. You don't necessarily need to come up with a character name or backstory yet. Although if you've got ideas, I want to hear them, and I want to know what you're going to be going with. That's going to be at the end of this session, though. Basically, we're going to be going through the raw numbers first, and then after that, we're going to go into backstory and what your character name is. That stuff's not important yet. Unless you want to pick feats or pick archetypes based on your character's backstory, which I do strongly encourage. It's nice to have that link between your numbers and what your character's backstory actually is. But that's far from necessary. So, yeah.
Good.
Once you've officially written your class and race into the race and class columns in the spreadsheet, then we can actually get to rolling some stats. Now, I don't know if anybody rolled their stats before. I think Weimar might have. Did you do so already?
No, I just tested out the rolling, but not the actual.
Okay. So how rolling stats is going to go is you're going to roll a set of 4d6, and you're going to do that 7 times. And each time you roll it, you're going to drop the lowest value. So you're going to be adding up 3 of those 4d6. And then that's going to be one of your stats. Is there any way to share macros?
Yeah, I just posted in advance, so I think it should be...
Oh, nice.
If you want to do that, so go for that.
So we need to do that
before it works.
7 times.
Yep, so you do it 7 times.
It does
and
have
you drop
7 times, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so the macro already drops the lowest value too. That's really nice. So then once you do it 7 times, then you remove the lowest because I'm nice and I give you an extra drop roll. A lot of DMs and like the official way you're supposed to roll stats don't give you a 7th, but I do like my players to be slightly overpowered.
Or at least powered enough to be able to survive level 1.
If I'm good as a DM, you shouldn't have to worry too much about surviving level.
That's fair. Yo. Did I do something wrong? It's not.
Oh, I forgot to have the /R before. Or
Dang it.
/roll.
Oh, that's kind of important.
Yeah.
Okay, what do I type?
Just copy that thing that Duker posted in the advanced group chat with a /R before.
Okay.
Oh god, we got the visual dice. Okay, so just scratch down the values, the raw values that you get, the top 6 of the 7 values that you get into like a notepad file or something.
Yep.
Because we probably want to calculate in your racial bonuses before we actually put it in the spreadsheet.
Yeah, this is just like our raw, and then we're going to do a bunch of math on that.
Yeah, so generally your base stats will only be changed once during character creation. That's going to be for your race. But then after that, they basically won't change until like level 4, or unless you manage to get some really high level magic equipment.
My numbers are high.
I'm pretty pleased with my numbers too. Worst, I got a 12.
My worst is an 8, but I got 2 16s.
Yeah, and you can drop the lowest, so there you go.
No, that like.
Oh, that's
drops.
with dropping the lowest.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's still really good then. That could be like your strength or something. Or wisdom, actually,
It's
probably.
going to be my wisdom. Like, everyone knows this. That's my dump stat. It's the raocow dump stat.
The raocow dump stat. TM.
So
Alright.
you drop the lowest. When you say you drop the lowest, you mean of the combined?
It
yeah, so you
already
drop the
does it
lowest.
in the macro.
Yeah, so
All
you
the
drop the
grayed
lowest.
out numbers are.
Oh, gotcha.
You drop the lowest individual die of each roll of 4, and you also drop the lowest overall of the total rolls.
Got it. Okay.
Like, if you use the macro, all the relevant numbers are highlighted.
I see. Okay.
Yep, so just scratch those down in a notepad file, and then we'll get to your race bonuses. So if you go to the d20pfsrd.com, which is going to be the official wiki that I use for this. So if you guys want to follow along in the advanced group chat, that's the actual wiki that I use. And that's going to be our official rule set for this. And you just want to go to your race section. So, for example, Philby is a dwarf, so he's just under core races. That's a piece of cake there. That's just right there. Halflings for... It's getting real noisy outside. Hold on, guys. I'm going to close my window. It looks like a pretty nasty storm is brewing outside right now, so if I suddenly disappear without any explanation, it's probably power outage. I don't expect it, though, so... But just giving that caveat there. So once you've got all your stats rolled up, then you want to go to your race page, because that's going to tell you what your base stat bonuses are going to be. So, for example, if we go to the dwarf page, you don't want to worry about all the rest of this yet. We'll worry about that here in a bit. But
Constitution,
if you go to the
wisdom, and charisma.
Yeah, so if you go to the abilities for racial traits for dwarfs, for example, it says they gain +2 Constitution, +2 Wisdom, -2 Charisma. So apply those bonuses to whatever stats you want to be those stats. So, for example, actually apply your stats in the right columns first, but then subtract or add as your race page dictates.
All right. I am an above average person. If an average person is 10 everything.
Yep, average human on the street, 10 everything.
Why does self get -2 constant? I guess that would make sense.
Yeah.
And they're kind of frail.
Same reason as elves.
Weak constitution.
So I
And they're like
associate
half
constitution
air
with like running a long distance and things like that, but
it's more for I actually gave a good little description in my character creation guide for what they all are. I think for Constitution, I described it as how many tomatoes you can eat.
But then, how would you measure like endurance? Like
that is actually based on Constitution as well.
Okay.
But you can actually get a feat called Endurance, which I think like gives you a +4 to your fortitude roll for running long distances or something like that.
who needs running when you can hop around a floating disc?
Yeah, you've got that you got that nice giant fish summon thing that you're gonna be doing, right? So
I
mean,
I suspect you're gonna be.
I'm gonna have to hoof at a few levels, but
Okay, I got my stats set.
yeah, the same.
All right. So once you have them set, just apply them in the spreadsheet.
All right. So as you said, it shouldn't move a whole lot more from then on.
Correct. These stats are pretty much going to be set for most of the game. Every 4 levels, you get to put a single point into one of those.
Oh boy, that's so weird because you only get your thing like every even number. Oh man.
That's why odd numbers are kind of nice, because that means you know that if you bump one up at level 4, you're going to get a bonus to your stat. Like a bonus to your bonus. Bonus to your modifier, that's the word that I want to use.
Weimar is more charismatic than me.
I mean, he's a paladin, makes sense.
Also, not actually, because we got the same bonus.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm gonna note that down because I'm gonna keep forgetting.
Alright, so when you have all this stuff in the spreadsheet, I want you to also put it in whatever you're using for your character sheet as well. And if your character sheet does not automatically populate it, then just know that, wow, that's some loud thunder. I don't know if you guys can hear that. But so basically, not a 10 and 11 is +0, and then in groups of 2 above and below that, you get an extra +1 or -1 respectively. So, for example, a 12 and a 13 is a +1, 14 and 15 is a +2, a 9 and 8 is -1. So just make sure that your ability modifiers are clearly displayed next to your stats in whatever you're using for your character.
Is there a cap of how high a base stat can go?
Technically,
18.
no.
Oh,
18 is the highest you can roll, but if you roll 20, if you roll an 18 for one of your stats, you put into charisma, and you're also a gnome, then you've got 20 as your base, which is ludicrous. But that actually happened in one of my campaigns.
Man, we're actually all pretty strong.
Yeah, I'm something at 18 in
Generally, how
so
it's
I'm
supposed to
happy.
work out.
But
Yeah,
in the 5th edition, there's a hard cap on 20. You can never go above 20. Oh, well, some special cases, but usually not.
Yeah, there's some unusual races that give a +4 in some stats instead of +2 in multiple stats.
So just making sure 16 is +3, right?
Yes.
yeah.
So just once you apply all those ability modifiers, I want to look at everything else that your race has. So, yeah. Philby, I believe that's your chair making a whole bunch of noise.
My bed, yes.
Your bed, okay. If there's any way you can minimize that or bump up your microphone threshold a little bit, that'd be great.
Okay.
So, what race is everybody again? We've got it listed here. So we've got one halfling, one. That's right. We've got a variation on Dampier.
Yeah.
We've got a sylph and a dwarf. So I want everybody to look at their race pages. So, for example, and just go down to the standard racial traits section. So under that, obviously you'll see your ability score racial traits, and then you'll see your size. And if you're a small creature, it'll tell you what bonuses you get for that. If you're a large creature, which nobody here is, then it'll also tell you the bonuses for that. And it'll also tell you what type you are. All that stuff is fairly obvious. The only thing I'd write down is your size, and whatever bonuses that or penalties that gives you. And then it'll also tell you your base speed. So for most medium creatures, it's 30 feet. Dwarves are an exception.
20 feet.
Yep, but they can never ever go below 20 feet.
Right.
And then below that will generally be languages. So for languages, what I'm going to tell you guys is that basically it tells you what languages you start with. And then additionally...
Dude, the sound is like overpowering.
It is really loud.
Yeah. My starting language is linguist. That's a bit special.
So if you have linguistics as a class feature. There's a class skill that we'll talk about that later, but that can actually get you extra languages each time you put a point to it. But your languages under your race page will tell you what languages you start off with, and then it'll also tell you what bonus languages you can get if you have high intelligence. So for each +1 that your ability modifier gives you, you get an extra language. So if your intelligence is a 16, for example, that's going to be a +3, so you get 3 extra bonus languages. If you have a +0 or below, you don't get any extra bonus languages. So pick those bonus languages and write down the whole list of languages that you have and put it in whatever you're using for your character sheet.
Yeah, I didn't expect to know 4 languages.
And I'm gonna start with 5.
have
I
an
know
8
that's common and
intelligence.
abyssal. That's the 2 I know.
That's actually going to be something handy for me to know. So I'm actually going to put that here on this spreadsheet. So, bam.
I just know common and dwarven.
Yeah, so just scribble those down in the spreadsheet when you get the chance, because knowing what languages you know is going to help me.
Oh, wow.
That way I won't send you guys into some tomb with Celestial all over it if you already know Celestial.
Common. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that knows that. Like, don't put plus more. Put all of them, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't decided it.
Oh, sorry.
That's fine. Yeah, no rush. This is something you guys can change before the first session, but just make sure that's up to date as soon as possible. So if you want to decide that here, that would also not go unappreciated.
Special request.
Yes.
Can I get Sylvan as bonus language because of the backstory?
If your backstory is raised by fairies, absolutely.
Nice. Thanks.
You are welcome. So, below that is generally defensive racial traits. So that'll be, using dwarves as an example again, that'll be stuff like getting a +4 dodge bonus to your AC against giants, and that kind of stuff. So write that in your special abilities section.
Are we allowed to use like alternate racial traits?
Yes, just make sure that you run them by me.
I was looking at a few of those.
And also for the Dampier stuff, just keep in mind none of the base Dampier racial traits apply, except for your undead, or like your energy affinity, I want to say it's called. So, for example, positive energy is going to hurt you and negative energy is going to heal you. Negative energy affinity is what it's called. So, just and at this point, just run through the rest of those racial traits, and if you find something that you don't really feel like fits, or you're not really going to use, then feel free to look through the alternate racial traits. Keep in mind that alternate racial traits replace specific racial traits.
Right.
So they'll say at the end of their description what they replace. So just make sure that you're replacing that properly, and let me know if you take an alternate racial trait.
Yeah, I'm going to do that right now, because air affinity is extremely specific.
Yeah.
I want to replace it with Breeze Kissed.
All right, let's see, Sylph. Sorry, I'm just pulling up the page for it right now. So you're replacing air affinity.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's not going to be something you'll probably ever use. And you're replacing it with Breeze Kissed, you said?
Yep.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, sure, go for it.
Got it. I'm just going to read it for people out there. Breezes seem to follow most Sylph wherever they go. Some Sylph are better able to control these winds than others. A Sylph with this racial trait surrounds herself with swirling winds, getting +2 racial bonus to AC against non-magical range attack. And also, once per day, the Sylph can channel this wind to a single gust, making a bull rush or trip combat maneuver attempt against one creature within 30 feet.
That's really good, but at the same time, if you were actually part of the elemental air bloodline or used the air domain, then air affinity would also be really good. So I'm gonna give it to you.
All right. +2 AC.
And I'm going to be leaving that up to you guys to remember when you have that kind of extra bonuses. So, for example, if you guys fight a giant, I'm probably not going to remember off the top of my head that Philby's character gets +4 to AC against giants. I'm probably just not going to remember that. So just that's ultimately going to be up to you guys to remember that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's just managing our own resources, basically. That makes sense.
Yep.
I think I want to take the unstoppable racial trait in place of hardy. It gives toughness as a bonus feat and +1 bonus on fortitude saves.
In place of Hardy?
Yeah.
Oh, Hardy's really good. You sure you want to give that up?
Jeez.
It's like a +2 against every single spell.
Oh gosh, you're right. Never mind.
I mean, if you want to take it, I'll give it to you. But at the same time, Hardy is really good.
Yeah, I just wasn't thinking. I was just thinking about the bonus against poison. I forgot it applied to spells.
That's fine. Just
Okay, never mind.
That's why I want you guys to run this stuff past me, because there might be some stuff that you're missing, might be some stuff I'm missing.
Right.
That's a good point, Will Hart. I will expand the languages known section here. All right.
But at the same time, I'm looking to be kind of the party tank, and those extra bonus feats would really help. The bonus.
All right. Yeah. If you want to take Unstoppable, then I'll give it to you.
Yeah, I think I will in place of hardy.
All right.
In the interest of anybody who was druids at that point, I took the Fey Magic alternate racial trait, which gives me a couple of spells when I'm in the forest.
Good.
I might also take Fey Swords, because I've got a very limited skill selection and I've got a couple of skill points to spend. Plus, I'm going to be immune to fear anyway.
Place was fearless. Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, perform. Why not? I'm going to be the performing paladin.
Yeah, why not? Just you'll be a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, why not?
All right. And once everybody's done with their racial traits, just let me know.
I'm good. Just curiosity, how does resistance work again? Like, I feel like I missed it.
So resistance basically takes. So you're talking about energy resistance in specific. So you have electricity resistance 5. So that means that every time you take electrical damage, you remove 5 of it.
Okay. So I got okay.
It's just a direct reduction.
So I need to be hit by electricity 6, and then I get hit for 1, basically.
Correct.
Need fight Spark, man. You should let me go forward. I wonder how often electricity damage this thing.
Just for the sake of just keeping everything tracked, I also threw an alternate racial traits column into the spreadsheet. I forgot that might be something we might want to keep.
And in place of greed, I'd like to take craftsman, because I don't see my character as a very greedy person.
Craftsman.
Gives +2 on craft or profession checks related to metal or stone.
That sounds good to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I could definitely put a point in handle animal. Be the best animal team around.
Wait, are we doing skills?
Not yet.
Okay.
Nah, yeah. Skill points are going to be much later. We're going to do HP and starting gold next.
Okay. I was just wondering because I just stepped up for a second, and then I heard about putting points, man. I was like,
Yeah, no, that's just me thinking loud.
Fair enough.
And for alternate racial traits, Duker, you don't need to put all the stuff for your alternate race style.
Yeah,
just
but from
assuming
the
you're
alternate
taking all the
stuff,
base
there
stuff.
aren't that much traits specifically. The alternate skill modifier and an ability modifier and spell-like ability. Otherwise, it's the same. And the weakness, of course.
Yeah, I'm seeing that you're putting like undead resistance and resist level drain and dark vision. Is that all stuff that you're taking that isn't standard to?
That's the standard Vampire stuff.
Oh, this is for alternate racial traits. So you can just clear that out unless that's stuff that you're taking in addition. That's different.
Right.
So, Duker, one thing to actually keep in mind with your Dampier is that one thing that doesn't get changed when you become Vitalaborn, or Velveetaborn as raocow has put it, you will still you still have opposite energy polarity.
Yep.
So basically, negative energy heals you and positive energy hurts you.
Yep.
So that's, as long as it's fine with you, I don't mind.
Yeah,
I'm just giving you a heads up.
It makes sense.
Does anyone in the party have dark vision?
Me?
Yep, I do.
Okay. Then I'm gonna replace dark vision for the surface of survivalist trait because I figure my character grew up above ground. It lets you treat wind conditions and either hot or cold climates, one or the other, as one step less severe.
All right, I'll give it to you.
Okay.
All right, so just be aware that when it's dark, we'll just forget and we'll leave you behind by accident.
Well, that's why dwarves invented torches.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna treat cold temperatures as one step less severe.
Sounds good.
Oh, is this alternate trait, like Born in the Light and stuff? But I don't want that, so never mind. I just found it on the page.
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff for pretty much every race, unless you get to some of the really weird ones that aren't terribly well fleshed out.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Monkey Goblin doesn't have alternate racial traits, for example.
Yeah. Are there a lot of goblins around Daventry?
Around Daventry, no, not so much. A lot of them are, most of the goblin residents of Calderis are closer to the Glider Forest.
Okay, what about giants?
Giants, yeah, they're kind of around Daventry's area.
Okay,
in fact, there's one that guards the front gate.
Okay,
by holding the bridge.
So I'm going to replace Hatred with Giant Hunter. That basically gives me a bonus against giants instead of goblins.
All right. Sounds good to me.
Removing all the negative, weird parts, replacing by something more constructive.
Well, I'm thinking.
I mean,
like
none of the stuff that it is. Yeah, it sounds like Duker's going,
Philby.
Philby, right? It's going to take a bit, but it sounds like Philby's much more going for flavor for character roleplay, which I wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
I always appreciate the extra step going for role playing there.
Yeah, I take Reese Kiss because wind is always flowing around me. I am an anime character.
All right. Anything else for racial traits?
I think I've got mine all picked out.
Yeah,
Anybody still working on that?
No,
I think I'm good.
Okay. In that case, pull up your class pages next.
What?
Because we're pretty much done with race stuff now.
Money!
So, first up, you're going to get your health. So, in future levels, you roll for how much health you gain each level, but for level 1, you get the maximum possible. So, the health that you're going to start off with is going to be whatever it lists for your hit die. So, for most of you, it's probably a D8 or maybe a D6. Paladin probably is like D10 or something.
Yeah, I get D10.
D10.
So it's going to be the maximum value of that die, plus your Constitution modifier.
And then plus one for a favorite class.
And then
right?
plus one for favorite class, yep.
Oh, wow, okay.
I got a 13. I'm lucky.
I mean, I'm honestly happy to start with 11.
I got 15.
Nice.
All right.
Like, I'm still the squishiest, but I'm still above 10.
I have toughness, so I actually have 18.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Toughness starts you off with an extra plus 3 health.
Yep.
Damn,
Well, you're the actual
that's insane.
frontliner, so you are supposed to have the most health. I'm just a healer.
Yeah, I forgot how hardy Cavaliers are. All right.
And dwarves.
Yeah, it's a good combination. So next up is going to be your starting gold. So on your class page, you'll also see your starting wealth, and I want you to actually roll that in Roll20.
2d6 times 10.
And once again, I realize I forgot to put something in this spreadsheet, so I'm going to put money.
So, times 10, so $50. Wow.
That's 50 gold, and gold is a lot of money.
$50.
I got the short end. I got only
Is it
120.
American or Canadian dollars?
Well,
It's Canadian gold.
Australian.
So just write down how much money you got on your character sheet, as well as the spreadsheet as well. Now, different classes get different amounts because some classes just need more money.
Yeah, I didn't even have enough to get chainmail, so...
And I also get to start with clothes. Fantastic.
Yeah, everybody gets to start off with one outfit worth 10 gold or less, and 10 gold is a lot of money. So like, that's a swanky outfit you can start off with if you so choose.
Is it enough for a armor?
No.
So could you take your outfit, sell it, and buy cheaper clothes and get more money?
It's kind of implied that you're not supposed to do that, and
Okay.
I would rather you didn't.
I wouldn't do it. I just
You're just gonna be walking around naked for a little bit, finding the armor shop.
Look,
It's viable as a druid.
yeah, it depends on
Maybe
your
as a
character.
monk.
Yeah,
Nobody-
monk would make sense. Like, yeah, when you think about it, then yeah, 10 gold outfit seems.
Nobody questions the monk.
All right. So once everybody has their starting gold rolled and placed in the money section of our spreadsheet, then next up we're going to do skills. So there's a whole bunch that goes in. There's a whole bunch of like little caveats to skills. So different character sheets have different ways of indicating this, but there are some skills that you can only put points into if you have it as a class skill. So depending on what everybody has for, so basically at the top of the actual class page, it'll show what the class skills are. And different classes have obviously different class skills. Like for example, wow, Summoner actually has knowledge all. That's really good. So basically, different character sheets have different spots to basically put a little checkbox next to the skills that are class skills. So I think the one built into Roll20, for example, has it. The one I sent out has little checkboxes. So what I want you to do is I want you to put check marks or X's or whatever will remind you in the little class skills boxes next to all the skills that are your class skills. And if it says, for example, knowledge all in terms of summoner, then you put a check mark in every single knowledge skill. And there's a lot of them.
So we just choose. Okay.
And then once you've checked all of your class skills, then next up, you actually distribute your skill points.
Okay.
So it'll say on your class page how many skill points you get. So for example, Paladin gets 2 plus intelligence modifier, and then there's also going to be +1 for favorite class again. Because I give you both health and a skill point on favorite class because I'm a nice DM.
And can only put 1 per level?
Yes.
Like in a
Yes,
given
so you
thing.
can only
we
put
Okay.
1 point per level per category. And the first time you put a point into something that is a class skill, then you also get an additional +3 miscellaneous modifier.
Oh yeah, raocow, I've put a point in use magic device too, but he
So,
might as
yeah,
well want to.
You put it in use magic device, and I'll put it in spellcraft.
Yeah. I mean, if it would be nice to have a backup word.
Well, yeah. Anyway, yeah. Since I got 5 to check, so I guess I'll take both. Yeah, you got a good point.
And just keep in mind, if a class skill is marked if a skill is marked as a class skill only, then once you have that check mark, you can't put points into it. So, for example, you can't put points into Disable Device if you're not a rogue or another class that has an option. And knowledge skills are another thing like that. So, if you don't know anything about geography, you can't put points into it to know more things about geography unless it's a class skill.
And we don't just need to choose between class skills. We can go in all.
No.
Yeah. So, for example, a lot of skills are actually open, and anybody can put points into them. It's indicated on the sheet that I sent out. It's indicated by a star whether or not it's a class-only skill.
Oh, is that a house rule?
No, that's a real rule.
So I thought you can put a rank in any skill. It's just if it's a class skill, you get, I think, a +3 bonus.
I mean, half of that's right. You can't put a point into any skill. You can only put it into skills that are either not class skills or class skills that you have as your class. It's a
some
little
other
complicated.
conditions. Like you can't invest in fly if you have no way to actually fly.
Actually, technically you can. It's just kind of dumb. Fly is surprisingly not a class skill, right? But fly is not. Putting points into fly does not mean you can fly. It more dictates your aerial maneuverability. So if you're tossed out of a helicopter with a wingsuit on, your fly skill would be how well you navigate to the ground.
So if I'm riding my animal, I should invest in ride, that even if it's flying.
Yes.
Okay.
You make ride checks, the animal makes fly checks.
Got it.
And the fly checks are mostly going to be if, say, it's turbulent or they get hit in the wing or something like that. That would make it harder for them to fly normally.
Okay, right. Is it fly?
And one special thing to keep in mind is if you have linguistics as a class skill and you put a point into it, you actually get to learn an entirely new skill or an entirely new language every time you put a point into linguistics. Yep. And when you put a point into linguistics, you can learn any of the languages that aren't restricted in some way.
Yeah, secret languages.
And that's all listed on the linguistics skill page.
So what's lying?
That's bluff.
Oh, there it is. I didn't see it.
And here, there's this. I just sent a link in the advanced group chat for the linguistics page if you do want to put a point into linguistics. I don't know if any of you guys can, though. Do any of you guys have linguistics? Oh, the summer has linguistics as an option.
I could, but I don't think I will. But I could.
It's good to have that as an option, though. So if you start running into a bunch of gnomes, for example, and you don't know gnomish, then next level you can pick up gnomish.
Okay, I picked my skills. All 3 of them.
Cool. You got a base intelligence of 0, then?
-1.
-1. Oh, do cavaliers get 4?
Yes.
Well, then you do get an extra +1, though.
Oh, right.
Because of the favorite class. So if you're really debating over 2 of them, you could just pick both of them now.
I'm gonna go. Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. It's not but it's still something I want to do. All right, and then we add our bonus.
Yeah, so you add your ability modifier for the corresponding skill. So, for example, acrobatics is a dex skill. Knowledge is always an int skill. And then ranks is how many points you put into it, and then your miscellaneous modifier gets a +3 if it's a class skill that you have put a point into this level. You only get that +3 for the first point you put into it ever.
Man, so right at the start, there are some stuff that you can start off being already pretty good at.
Yeah, that's kind of what's supposed to really differentiate classes a bunch in the early game. Is just what are they good at? Because late game, basically everybody has a bunch of perceptions, so nobody needs to worry about that. And you basically got acrobatics covered.
I haven't invested anything in perception.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, it's also level 1, so
not true.
And I've got no wisdom bonus. I've traded away my racial bonus to perception.
This
I
is
mean,
gonna
my
be
wisdom.
It's an important skill in the game, but you know.
You guys are just gonna start walking into trees by mistake.
Exactly.
I'm just
gonna be
hoping
great.
someone's gonna be okay at looking for us. Just look for everyone.
Well, if Horikawa goes with Rangers, you should be pretty good at it.
Also, technically, my Eidolon has its own stats when we get there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Okay, well, we're going to be actually dealing with that here next, because we're going to be doing class-specific stuff next. First up, every class page has a big old table at the top, just under class skills. And that table is super duper useful, because that table tells you basically what your base attack bonus and saves and all this sort of stuff that you get at each level is. So, for example, looking at the Paladin page, Paladin starts off with a base attack bonus of +1, Fortitude save +2, Reflex save of +0, and Will save of +2. So we're going to deal with all that stuff right now. So for base attack bonus, there should be a section on your character sheet just for base attack bonus. So just take whatever you have in the first level section and just stick it right there. And then after that, there's Fortitude, Reflex, and Will, which are your 3 main saves. Fortitude, for example, is how well you resist poisons. Reflex is how well you can, say, dodge an explosion. And Will is going to be how well you can resist mind-affecting things. Just to give you a rough idea. So Fortitude, you just take those bonuses and put them in the base saves column. And then the ability modifier column, which adds up to that to create your overall bonus, is given via Constitution, Dexterity, and Wisdom, respectively, for Fortitude, Reflex, and Will. So, for example, if your Constitution has a +3 modifier and you're a Paladin at level 1, you get 2 for being level 1 as a Paladin, and you additionally get +3 for your Constitution modifier, giving you a total +5 to your Fortitude roll. So just make sure that stuff's all filled out. And once all that is filled out, I need to pull up each of your class pages. So we're going to start getting into those specifically. So, let's see, what's the last one missing? Magus, that's right. All right, so I've got everybody's class pages pulled up now. So, now we're basically just going to go through each person's abilities and basically everything in the special column.
Basically doing this one player at a time.
Yeah, and this is really the only thing that we really need to go through one player at a time. And while I'm doing that, everybody else can feel free to purchase equipment. So I recommend purchasing your kit for your individual class. I posted a link to the kits section earlier in the advanced group chat, I believe. How far up is it? It's here somewhere, I swear. Okay. Yeah, so it's scroll up a little bit, you'll find it. So purchase your kit, and then you want to make sure that whatever items, whatever armor and weapon you wield is something that you're proficient in. And make sure you're deducting whatever you spend from your total roll. And first up, we're going to go with Weimar, since Weimar's first here on this page.
Right.
So while we're talking about Paladin-specific stuff, everybody else can feel free to purchase their equipment.
Should take too long.
No, you don't have a ton of stuff at level 1. So you've got proficiency with all simple and martial weapons and all types of armor, and all shields except tower shields. That's pretty great. You also have Aura of Good, so whenever somebody uses a Detect Good spell, they will automatically see what your aura is, and it's equal. The aura strength is equal to your paladin level.
Pretty terrible at infiltration.
All pretty simple stuff. Next up is Detect Evil. So basically, you can just use it freely whenever you like. You can just search around for evil. Where is the evil? As if you just have the spell available. If you're focusing on one specific thing, you don't detect things in an area. All pretty simple stuff. So that's just something that you have as a paladin. And then other than that, all you get
just
is Smite Evil once a day. Yeah, paladins, super straightforward early on, and they actually stay pretty straightforward for the most part. So let me just go over Smite Evil just for the sake of our listeners, as well as the rest of the party, and also for my own sake, just to remind myself what this all does. So once a day, as a swift action, you can choose one target to smite. If they're evil, then you add your charisma bonus to all of your attack rolls, and add your paladin level to all damage rolls. So you can just once a day say, "I hate you because you're evil," and kick their butts really, really well.
Hate is not a nice thing. That's not something a good person does.
Okay, how about you're an affront to my lawful good God, and I shall bring you to justice. How about that? That's more paladin, right?
Well, I guess.
So
I'm concerned because I want to be a frontliner to protect all the people behind me, but my stats are better suited for a ranged character. It's annoying.
I mean, you don't have to be a melee paladin. You could be a ranged paladin.
But I want to be. How do I protect the squishies if I'm not in front, shielding them with a literal shield?
Luckily, when Smite Evil is active, then you get to add your charisma bonus to your AC against attacks made by whoever's smitten. So, yeah. But if the target's not evil, it's wasted with no effect. So, yeah. And it stays on them until the next time you rest or regain the use of your ability. So basically, they are just stuck being smitten for basically forever. For the entire day, at least. There's basically no way that they're getting out of that. In that
smitten
combat.
sounds like a bit like falling in love with me. Which, given my charisma, is kind of like a...
That's pretty funny. Actually, Cavaliers actually get something similar with Challenge, but we'll get to that momentarily.
Yeah.
So you're all set, Weimar. You can go. Feel free to purchase your equipment if you haven't already had that planned out for a while at this point. All right. So yeah, I guess you're just gonna have to be patient. Well, actually, if you'd like, you can pick your feat for level 1 if you like.
Done.
All right. Well, you can pick your trait if you would like to pick a trait.
Done.
Then work on your backstory. And I also want you to decide where you are on the map. It sounded like you were probably going to be in Asbarest, so feel free to
basically
get your backstory prepared while the rest of us get our character set up. So next up is Duker.
Yep.
So you're going to be a blade-bound magus. So let's actually check out what blade-bound means. I think that means that you just constantly have like a magical blade with you, yes?
Yeah, from level 3 onward.
From level 3 onward, okay.
Yeah,
so until then,
I'm going to have a basic, normal longsword that turns out to be this super magical sword. It just suddenly transforms. But what? Okay, cool.
That's pretty cool, but it doesn't look like this actually has any effect on level 1, luckily. So I think you're going to be fine, and we can just go with the normal magus stuff. So, if that's the case, then you get your arcane pool. Well, actually, let's go with weapon armor proficiency first. So you're proficient with light armor, and because you're a magus, you don't incur arcane spell failure chance. And let's see. If you wear medium or heavy armor or have a shield, then you do incur spell failure chance, though.
Until I get
the spell has
skills.
Somatic component only. So, a bunch of things to keep in mind. For the most part, though, you're probably just going to be wearing light armor, and that's going to be all your protection there.
Yep.
Spells. You get the Magus spell list. Your spell DCs. So you're actually going to write down your spell DCs. So according to the table, you get 3 spells per day of level 0 and 1 spell per day of level 1. However, what is your intelligence modifier?
+4.
+4. Wow, that's really good. Okay. What was? I want to make sure I get the table right. I've got the table in my character creation guide, actually. There's a nice handy table which tells you how many bonus spells you get per day based on your spellcasting stat. So, all right. Okay, here we go. So you got a +4 modifier. So you must have an 18 then?
Yep.
All right, so you get
+2 from Vetala.
All right, so you get 1 extra bonus level 1 spell per day. So, as a magus, you get 3 level 0 spells per day and 2 level 1 spells per day. So you want to write that down somewhere.
Yeah, I'm just going to find where that is. Oh, wait, this is class 0 right here. Okay. I think maybe. So, yeah, the Roll20 character sheets aren't always that straightforward. Yeah, I can admit.
Yeah,
that.
it's a bit finicky. Once you get really used to it, it's not bad. But there's still some times
It's
where
mostly
you're like,
just
oh,
this
I have a
first
bonus.
time just to get it in.
Yeah, I mean that's what this whole first session's for, though. So
Yeah.
I'm not worried. All right, so next up, so you should write down your spell save DCs as well. So the spell save DCs are going to be equal to 10 plus your intelligence modifier plus the spell's level. So your save DC for your level 0 spells is going to be a 14, and your spell save DC for your level 1 spells is going to be 15. So just write that down somewhere. A lot of the time you'll say, like, I cast Burning Hands, and I'll be like, what's the save DC on that? And I want you to be able to pull it up immediately.
Yep. It's a 14 base, and that part is easy.
Yep. And then you also get to start off with a spellbook containing all of the level 0 Magus spells and 3 of the first level Magus spells of your choice. So I'll let you choose that while I'm working with everybody else's character.
Yes.
But that's something that you get. And also level 0 spells are cantrips, so you can cast them as much as you want, assuming that you've prepared it for the day. It only takes 1 slot. And then finally, the last thing that you need to keep in mind is your arcane pool. So you get an arcane pool equal to half of your Magus level plus your intelligence modifier.
Yeah, it's lower for Bladebound. It's only a third.
Oh,
of my
okay.
level.
Okay, but it's still minimum 1. So you do start with 5 arcane pool points, which is great.
Yep.
And that's refreshed when you prepare your spells for the day. And basically at level 1, unless Bladebound says otherwise, you get to just use 1 point from your arcane pool as a swift action to make any of your weapons that you're holding +1 enhanced. So that's a +1 to attack and damage.
Yep.
And as you level up, you get to put cooler and cooler stuff on your weapon.
Such as the
That's
dancing.
what you get for now. Yeah, and you can make it just on fire the whole time. There's a lot of cool stuff.
Yep.
So
what is the difference between a free action and a swift action?
So each turn you get 1 standard action, 1 movement action, and then 1 swift action, and then as many free actions as you want. Swift actions are like pseudo free actions, where you only basically get 1 for free. If you use two swift actions, the second one is counted as a move action.
There's also
basically what's called a bonus action in 5. So, right.
Yeah, kind of. Immediate actions are also a thing that's in reaction to something, but there are very few instances where that's the case. It's mostly in instances of certain spell casting.
Yep.
So, for example, there might be spell casting, spell that like summons a shield in front of you immediately, and that might be an immediate action, which you can react to.
I think you can only use an immediate action if you haven't used a swift action in your previous.
Correct.
Okay, yeah, that's another thing to keep in mind. So, yeah. That basically covers it for you. I will leave you to go pick up whatever spells you want for your 3 spells for level 1.
Yep.
And next up, you've got raocow.
I probably have the most complicated one.
You do. So if Grand Cavalier's not super simple either, so don't worry about this taking too
Also,
much time.
I haven't been listening, so there might be stuff you repeat.
That's okay. So you got your base attack bonus, fortitude, reflex, and will save stuff all taken care of, right?
Yep.
All right. So first off, we'll look at your spells per day. You get 1 level 1 spell per day base, but you get a bonus based on whatever your intelligence modifier. Oh wait, no, it's charisma for you, isn't it?
Really? So I get +3?
No, it's not a direct.
Okay.
It's not a direct thing, unfortunately. That'd be really cool. But no, how it works is you look it up in a table. So what is your charisma modifier?
+3.
+3? Okay, then you get 1 extra level 1 spell per day, and basically you get, how it kind of works is that for each +1 that you have on your ability modifier, you get 1 extra spell per day of each spell category. So for example, as a +3, you get 1 extra level 1 spell per day, 1 extra level 2 spell per day, and 1 extra level 3 spell per day.
Okay.
But beyond that, you don't get any bonuses unless you bump up your ability score.
Okay, but
that's not something you need to worry about now.
Yeah,
So
I
you
just
get
got
2 level 1 spells per day. Yep,
Okay.
and you also start off knowing 4 level 0 spells per day and 2 level 1 spells per day. Those are not modified, though.
Right. Yeah, that's a limit of the summoner.
Yep. And you can cast spells while wearing light armor, which you're proficient with, without incurring arcane spell failure, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
Basically anything more than that, and you do, though. And then you also get proficiency with all simple weapons, but no martial weapons by default.
Right.
So that's something to keep in mind. So you can't wield like a sword, but you can wield a club. Clubs are cool.
Maces are pretty rad.
Maces are pretty rad. You can seriously put a dent in your opponent with a mace. All right, and then so your spell saving DCs are going to be based on 10 plus your charisma modifier plus the level of the spell. So the save DC I want you to write these down. So the save DC of a level 0 spell is going to be 10 plus 3. You said your charisma modifier was?
3, yeah.
Okay, so that's going to be a 13 total. Plus 0 because it's 0 level spells. And then level 1 spells are going to be a 14.
So basically it's a base 13 plus the level spell at this point.
Yes, at this point, yes. And you might get feats in the future that make it harder to resist certain spells or get other sort of bonuses that help with that as well.
Yeah.
And you also get cantrips, which is pretty great. So spells are free.
So yeah, those I get 4 cantrips to first. That doesn't change.
Yep. And your Eidolon, we'll leave that for last because it's complicated.
Yes.
But one thing to keep in mind is that you have the lifelink ability with your Eidolon, which you might as well get out of the way now. So whenever you take enough damage, whenever your Eidolon takes enough damage, to send it back to its own plane. So whenever it's quote unquote killed, you can sacrifice any number of hit points to basically save it. You basically steal the damage that it was taking.
So it's 1 for 1, it looks like.
Yeah, and that changes in efficiency based on how far away they are.
Okay. And also, we can't be too far apart from one another.
Yeah, they get weaker.
Okay.
And then finally, before we get to the Eidolon, you have Summon Monster as a spell-like ability. And you get that 3 plus your charisma modifier a day, so that's going to be 6 total uses of Summon Monster, 1 per day.
So I use it whenever, so that's...
Yeah, and you can only use it, not whenever, you can only use it when your Eidolon is not summoned.
Right. And they stick around for a minute instead of 1 round per level.
Yep, and this gets stronger as you level up as well.
Okay.
And finally, the Eidolon. And this was actually... So I've never actually played with the summoner in my party before, so feel free to correct me if you've read stuff that I'm missing. But the Eidolon gets a little complicated. So you begin with basically you get to summon a stand. Basically. So it's like super linked to you, has the same alignment as you, treated as a summoned creature, except they are not sent back to their home plane until reduced to a number of negative hit points equal to or greater than their Constitution score, and we'll get to that later. But that's the same way as that's the same way that a person dies too. You technically don't die at 0 health; you die at negative your Constitution score health.
Right.
And let's see. An Eidolon can touch and attack creatures warded by protection from evil, which is pretty cool. And basically, it's not treated as a summoned creature for a lot of purposes. Protection from evil being one of them. And
I know that it can wear stuff, but it can't wear something that's the equivalent of something I have. Like if I have a magic belt, it can't wear a magic belt.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Again, I'm a lot of this stuff is stuff that I'm learning as well. So,
but these are not going to be relevant for the first few sessions.
No, it's going to be a while until a lot of this stuff is relevant on your class page, which is fine because that gives us a chance to ease into the mechanics and lets you guys get familiar with the world and really feel comfortable before we really delve into anything too crazy. Whenever you gain a level, you decide how the points are spent for your Eidolon. Yeah, so you basically get points for of evolution points for your Eidolon, and you get to choose its appearance. So you said you're going to make it a giant fish thing, right? Or is it going to be a giant fish snake thing?
Well, it's going to be a giant fish, but it's going to use the avian body.
That's right. Okay.
And then you're going to let me mount it. You said
yes.
If I put the level for it.
Yeah, if you put the points in for it, then yes, I will allow you to ride it, because why would they not let you do that? That sounds so rad.
So basically, it's a fish, but with bird wings and 2 feet.
Oh my god, the fan art's going to be amazing.
Another way to imagine it, imagine a bird except the body and head part is a fish.
The creationists are gonna roll their eyes.
Oh man, this is going to be very, very silly. One other thing that needs to be mentioned is that you have, as a summoner, a little rune on your forehead.
Yep,
It's
and
equivalent
my
to one
buddy
that's
has
on
the
the
same.
Yep. And it can't be concealed, although it can be hidden through mundane means.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now let's go to the Eidolon section.
Okay.
So basically, you need to make an entirely new character sheet.
Yeah, I'm just gonna make it at the end of mine, but yes.
So it starts off with 1 hit die. So, and because it's level 1, it's starting off with the maximum value. But we should actually wait. First, we should figure out its base statistic. Like its total. Yeah, we need to. Okay, avian base. Here we go. All right. So you want to write down the ability scores for the avian base here.
Right.
And those are going to be its base scores, and that's what everything else can be derived from. Just the same as a normal character. And so you're going to also want to get the ability modifiers based on it. So strength is going to be +1, dex is going to be +3, con +1, int -2,
It's not smart. Oh.
wisdom +0, and charisma +0.
So 16 is +3, so it's +1. 7 is -2, you said?
Yes.
And that's 0. But what am I doing here? Had I realized this, I would have maybe have started that when we were building our things. But,
No, it's all right. I should have remembered to do this too.
all right, so I got my base stats and the adjoined.
All right. Also, you probably want to write down the speed. In this case, it's got a speed of 30 feet with a fly of 30 feet, and it's got good flight.
Good flight.
You want to scratch that down. Fortune, reflex, and will would just say bad, good, good. So I don't know what quite that means.
So I remember reading this, but I don't remember the details. But like, basically, to make it simpler, templates are either have like things instead of having.
Oh wait, I see it.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, I see it up here in the base statistics section. Okay, so now that we've got its stats, let's do its health next.
All right,
So
so I don't do the good thing yet.
No, let's worry about health first. Okay. So that's going to be 10 plus its Constitution modifier. It does not get a favorite class bonus, though, because it doesn't really have a class.
Okay, so it's 11, basically.
Write down the base attack bonus is +1. And its good saves, which are +2 at this level, are reflex and will. So it's got +2/+2 for each of those, and then its fortitude save is going to be +0. And then you add Constitution, Dexterity, and Wisdom bonuses to that, respectively, so that you get the total bonus.
What am I missing? Oh, I'm missing 4. Okay. 0. Yeah, and I need to add +3. So 5. Sorry, guys.
No, it's alright. Cavalier's going to take a bit, too.
Wiz is normal.
Because we basically did the same thing for Cavalier.
Alright, so I got his saves.
Alright, cool. Then next up, we're going to let's knock out its armor right away. So it has a base armor bonus of 0, but it's got +2 natural armor from being avian. So give it +2 plus its dexterity modifier, which is 3. So it's got a total AC of 15. We're going to worry about AC for base characters here in a bit once everybody's bought their equipment. But considering your Eidolon, probably not going to be wearing any armor right off the bat.
No, I'm going to buy, armor for Skyfish.
I mean, you can later, but I imagine it's going to be a little out of your price range early on.
Yes.
Also, I think it needs armor proficiency.
I love the fan art already. It's pretty great. All right, so yeah, I got the AC, so it was 15 total.
All right, strength dex bonus 0 for now, but basically as it levels up, it's going to get more and more strength and dex, which is pretty great.
Right.
And for its evolution pool, it has 3 so far and max attacks 3. That's pretty great that it has 3 max attacks right now. That seems kind of crazy, actually. But I don't think its attacks are super strong, though.
No, its attacks are weak. Like, that's how it's, like, balanced. And also, I'm not planning on using him to attack all that much. But it's good to
so
note.
For its attacks, it does have 2 claws for 1d3 damage each. So we might as well scratch that down now as well. So for its attack, it's going to have a 2 claws attack for 1d3 plus strength damage. So that's going to be 1d3 plus 1 damage each.
2 times 1d. So 1d3?
Yeah, that's the damage it does.
Okay, plus its strength, right?
Yeah, and to hit, that's going to be d20 plus. Yeah, the attack bonus is going to be space attack bonus, which is 1. Yeah, 1 plus its strength modifier. So it's going to be a plus 2 attack bonus.
Plus 2 attack bonus. All right.
All right, so we got attacks out of the way. Now it starts up with other things that you want to mark down is that it starts off with dark vision.
Mm-hmm.
It starts off with link, so it's basically got a mental link to you, and you control it as a free action. Basically, you take its turn as a free action on your turn. That's kind of how you control it. It's the same with like druids with like spirit bearers or whatever too.
So like, does it have? Is it like an alive, independent thing, or is it like an extension of me?
Yeah, it's an alive, independent thing.
Okay, it's just that I control its thoughts when it's convenient.
It loyally follows your orders.
That sounds a little better.
Also, share spells. For example, if there's a spell that says target you only, then you can cast on your Eidolon. So, for example, I think Shield is a self-cast only spell.
So,
and so you can cast on your Eidolon as well.
So if I cast Mage Armor, it benefits from that too automatically, or is it a separate thing? A separate cast?
No, I think you need to cast it on that instead.
Okay.
Yeah, so you need to pick. It doesn't affect both of you at once.
Sounds good.
But it's saying that basically if you have a spell that normally affects only you, you can also use it on the Eidolon as well.
Sounds good.
Let's see here. Skills. So, Eidolons actually get some class skills, and that's actually listed on the Eidolon page. Do you have that up by any chance?
I have the page. I just need to find the skill.
I can just list them off for you if you like.
Where is it though? Like...
It's scroll down a little bit beneath the table. It's it goes hit die, BAB, good bad save, skills.
There it
and
is.
Under
Yeah.
Eidolon skills, it has.
Yeah. I see it now. Here. Okay. You're getting perception, friend.
Oh man, it might be a super perceptive flying fish thing.
So yeah, it's 4 skills.
Yeah, so you start off with each of those as a class skill, and because it has a fly speed, it automatically receives fly as a class skill as well, so you should probably put a point to that. And you start off with 4 skill points, it looks like.
Well, it has intelligence of -2, so does it get less skills?
No, because it's strictly given here. If you do get a positive intelligence value, then you actually get a separate amount, which is listed here. Under
It gets 6 plus intelligence modifiers. 6 minus 2 is 4.
Which is what we're given this level. So
Yeah.
just pick 4 things to put a point into, and same class skill bonuses apply as with leveling up your character.
Right. I'm gonna do that a little bit here. Wow, I can cheat at craft somehow.
Well, yeah, if it's humanoid.
I guess that makes sense.
Craft bird nest.
That's true. Okay, I have been.
Plus, you can use the aid another action, so it can like look over your shoulder and give you advice.
That's true.
That's true. That's really funny to think about. And then you also get feats, and you get 1 feat for your Eidolon. I have a feeling you can pick that while you're picking feats for your main character.
Yeah,
So
we'll
push
do
that
that
back
when we
later.
do that. Yeah.
But basically, it applies anything that it qualifies for. It can have, which
Okay.
is kind of crazy because animal companions actually have a small list they can draw from. But next up, evolution points. Evolution points. You start off with 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there's a lot of things you can get, but you do start off because he's avian with limbs, legs, claws, and flight.
Right. And
Which-
yeah, so I got like there's 1 cost evolutions, 2 cost, 3 cost, 4 cost. I just need to equate to 3.
Yep. So I'll let you pick whatever 3 bonus evolution points you want to spend
Mm-hmm.
now while I'm dealing with Cavalier stuff next. But
Sounds
that
good.
basically covers the rest of your character. So if you have any questions, let me know.
Yep.
All right. And finally, Philby, you still there?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. So for Cavalier, you start off with a base attack bonus. We already dealt with that. That's
Yep.
right. All right. So challenge once a day. Actually, let's go proficiencies first. You're proficient with all simple and martial weapons.
Yep.
That's pretty great. And as a dwarf, you actually get proficiency to any weapon as long as that is dwarven in the name. Pretty
Yep,
nice.
I already picked up my weapons.
Oh, cool. Did you get like a dwarven long hammer or something?
Dwarven War Axe.
Dwarven war axe. That sounds deadly. I like it.
1d10 damage.
All right. And what kind of armor did you get? I'm curious.
Scale mail and a heavy steel shield.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that sounds like good stuff right there. And is the war axe one-handed then?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Just making sure if you have a shield. Okay, so challenge. So this is actually very similar to a paladin smite evil. You basically point at somebody and say "you," and then you go fight them. And yeah, it's you deal extra damage whenever you hit them, equivalent to your Cavalier level, and you can use it once per day at first level, plus an additional time every 3 levels beyond first. So you can use this once per day for now, though.
Right. Also, because of
challenge-
my archetype, also my animal companion gets the bonuses for my challenge as well.
Oh, that's really nice. What exactly is the animal or hunt master? You said it was
Hunt Master,
Your-
yes.
Okay, I'm gonna
Right.
pull that up as well.
My companion is a dog.
So did you scratch down your extra class skills as well from that?
Yes.
Okay, and
and
scale
for my
now is medium
Cavalier.
armor, yes.
Yes.
Okay, so you're not breaking that. All right, yeah. So yeah, your animal companion also gets your challenge bonuses. That's pretty great. You do get an attack. You do get -2 penalty to your AC if other people attack you that aren't the people that you're being. That if somebody who you aren't challenging attacks you while you're challenging somebody, you get a -2 penalty to your AC.
Okay.
But generally, that's fine because you're trying to kill the big dude first.
Right.
All right, and a challenge remains until they're dead or unconscious. Like that one doesn't even end until like that one doesn't end if you go to bed. That
Right.
one keeps going forever if you so choose.
We
Which is
dwarves
crazy.
do hold grudges.
Absolutely. So what order did you pick? Is that
Order of the Dragon.
Order of the Dragon. All right. What does that give you? Why did you do that to the Cavalier page?
When I issue a challenge, my allies receive a +1 circumstance bonus on melee attack rolls against the target of my challenge whenever I'm threatening the target.
Oh, that's cool. So if you're locked in melee combat, your buddies also get a +1 to hit.
Yes.
That's really cool. I'll take a look more at the Order of the Dragon here in a bit, but it sounds like that basically covers it for level 1 for Order of the Dragon.
And I get a bonus on survival to provide food and water.
All right, cool. Sounds good to me. Tactician is another thing you get. So you receive a free teamwork feat.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yep. You must meet the prerequisites for it, but you still get it for free. And as a standard action, you can grant this feat to everybody in a 30-foot radius. And teamwork feats have a lot of little cool things in them, like switch places, which will let you swap places with somebody else if you're surrounding like the same enemy, for
With
example.
my archetype, though, I can only grant the bonus to my my animal companion, not my team.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Yeah, would you look at that? Yeah, tactician only. Okay, that's interesting. All right, that's good to know. But that means that you've got like a super close bond with your puppy.
Yep.
Is he more a wolf?
It's a mastiff, a big hunting dog.
Big. Oh, that's right. I think you mentioned it was a mastiff
Yeah.
earlier. That's really cool. All right, so you got this big old mastiff, and you two are really good at taking down dudes immediately. So
Right.
yeah, pick a teamwork feat for you two to use. So you get to use it 3 rounds plus 1 round for every 2 cavalier levels. So you'd use it for 3 levels for now, or for 3 rounds per day for now. But yeah, every 2 rounds you get to do that.
Okay, I'm gonna pick that with my feats.
Yeah. Don't worry about that now, because next up we got to do with your mount, or in the Huntmaster's case, not mount. Your hunting pack.
My animal companion.
It's basically an animal companion. Basically, a druid's animal companion.
And I do have a special character sheet for my animal companion. No.
Excellent. So, animal companions, druid style, if you start off with 2 hit dice. So you're going to start off with 1, with basically a D8 plus. Well, actually, did you get all the stats and stuff copied down yet?
Not yet.
Okay, so let's actually figure out like what your base would be here. It's a dog
Right.
of some sort. So let's.
Yes.
Well, there's actually just dog. Okay, perfect.
I have the core rulebook open. I'm just bringing up the druids section.
So, dog, I've got all the ability scores here. If you'd just like me to read them off for you.
Okay, sure.
All right, so dog has strength 13, dex 17, con 15, int 2, wisdom 12, and charisma 6.
Okay.
And special qualities include low light vision and scent, so he can track people by his nose, which is pretty great. He's got a +2 natural armor bonus to his AC, and he gets a speed of 40 feet.
Okay.
And his attack is a 1d4 bite.
Does the dog get a free trip attempt on a bite, or is that just the wolf?
That's just the wolf.
Just the wolf.
Okay. Okay.
All right, so for his health, you're going to start off with. So basically, the first hit die you get maximum for free, but the second one you need to roll. So I'm going to need you to roll a d8 in roll 20 for me.
Three.
All right, so you get 8 plus 3 plus double his Constitution modifier for his starting health. So what's that total out to?
17.
17. Okay, cool. So he's probably the tankiest member of the party right now.
Nah.
But behind me, I have 18.
Oh, wow. All right. Cool. You two are some tanky dudes.
Co-tanks.
Yeah. And he gets a +1 to base attack bonus, and +3 to fortitude and reflex, and then +0 to will. And then just make sure to add the appropriate skill modifiers to the fortitude, reflex, and will saves.
Right. So 0 to fortitude.
No, 3 to fortitude, 3 to reflex, 0 to will.
Okay. Okay.
All right. And yeah, so you get share spells and link the same as raocow does with his summon.
I can't cast spells, but
yeah, if for some reason you did manage to pick up spell casting later on, you could then
Right.
use share spells. But link basically means that you control your animal companion as a free action on your turn.
gotcha.
So you also get 1 bonus trick. So tricks, do you know how those work?
It's been a while.
Basically, you can train your animal to do certain things, and you
Oh,
basically
yeah,
get-
yeah. I can
you
give it
basically
an
get
order.
1 thing for free. Yeah, so it can
and
go
I
off
don't
and do
have to make
something.
animal.
Yeah. So that's something that you might want to look into later if you really want to add a trick.
Yeah.
It very rarely comes up, but it might be something you want to look at.
Yeah.
And then it also gets 2 skill points. On the Animal Companion page, it lists off what Animal Companions have for skills, for
Right.
class skills, as well as things that you actually can put points into. It's pretty limited, but feel free to put two skill points into any of those.
Okay, I'm thinking perception and survival.
And that makes sense. And then you also get 1 feat from the Animal Companion feat list. So it's a pretty limited pool on
Yeah.
the companion feat list. But that's kind of nice. You don't have to spend like hours looking through it.
Yeah.
And you probably want something like improved natural attack or maybe dodge. Just keep in mind that they do still need to meet whatever requirements there are. So,
Right.
for example, it needs a dex of minimum 13 for the dodge spell, or for the dodge feat.
I think I'm actually going to choose Iron Will to shore
Okay.
up, so no one charms my dog.
That's fair. You guys have a really strong connection. So, your dog is not being dominated by anyone. It's your dog.
Yeah.
What's the dog's name?
Grip.
Grip.
Yeah.
You think you want to put that? Could you put that in the character name section?
I will.
Cool. I like it. Nori Houndstooth and Grip. I look forward to that. That should be fun. All right. Any other questions that anybody has about their class-specific stuff? Because I think that covers it. I'll take that silence as a no.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. So, equipment. Has everybody purchased their equipment?
I
And
have.
if not, do you need assistance deciding on things?
I've got a bunch of money left over, but I don't know what to spend it on.
Having it, well, you probably don't need to worry so much about healing potions. Wait, you don't get lay on hands yet, so maybe you want to bring a healing potion along with you?
If you can afford it.
If you can afford it. You said you got a bunch of gold left, though, right? Healing potions, I think, are 25 gold each?
I've got 72, so I could buy a couple.
Yeah, I mean, they're super handy, especially if you don't have any proper healing yet. Something to keep in mind. Yeah, it'd actually be 50
Maybe a scroll. Don't know how high the DC is.
A scroll, let's see, how much would a scroll cost? For a potion, it would be 50 gold. Fine.
Scroll would just be 25 to.
Okay, yeah, you just need to make a use magic device check with it. So yeah, if you want to do that, go for it.
I mean, the potion is strictly better because it doesn't make the UMDC, so you know.
Yeah, I know. But if you want to take that risk, then go for it. So it sounds like everybody's pretty much good with equipment then. What's everybody wielding?
Dwarven War Axe. And also a longbow.
I give myself a mace.
All right. Weimar, what you got?
I got myself a pitchfork, but I think I might also get myself a ranged weapon.
Okay. I mean, you're probably strong enough to be able to carry both. So, and it sounds like you got the money.
I've got 11 strength, yeah. But yeah, I've got 22 gold left.
All right. And does everybody have armor set?
Mm-hmm.
I have studded leather.
All right. Okay,
Yep.
Cool. So if everybody's got their armor set up, things to keep in mind with armor is some armor has an armor check penalty. Does everybody know how that works?
No, I don't know.
Okay, so it might be listed as simply ACP on the page. I don't have the page in front of me, but or it might be listed as check penalty. I think it is.
Armor
So
penalty
basically, how that works, how it works is if you are wearing that armor, then you get a penalty to certain things. For example, acrobatics or swimming, just stuff where it's clear that you're encumbered by the armor.
Okay.
So just while you're wearing it, you do get that penalty. If you pay like the extra, I think it's like 250 to 300 gold to make your armor masterwork, then you get one less on the armor check penalty. And none of you have to worry about spell failure stuff, assuming that you guys didn't pick any armor outside of your ranges for the spellcasters in the party. And then, yeah, so that's all you really need to worry about for armor. So, for your AC is going to be 10 plus your armor bonus, so whatever the bonus AC you get, plus your shield bonus, plus your dexterity modifier, plus any size modifier you might have if you're small, like Weimar. And then that's basically it for stuff that you'd have right off the bat. So what's everybody's AC?
16.
I
19.
haven't calculated yet.
So with my armor, 15.
All right. Cool. Yeah, that's not bad at all.
I don't get a good armor, so.
And I can get +4 with the mage armor. So that's it.
Well, actually, mage armor does not stack with your armor.
Really?
It overrides
it
your armor.
replaces it. Okay.
Yeah. So maybe you actually want to get the shield spell? Although shield, I don't think you can cast on your buddies, and it lasts for a shorter period of time.
Let me just look here, because like I got leather armor. It gives me a bonus of 2. That would still give me extra.
Yeah, but shield also gives you a +4, and that's in the shield category, though.
Okay, let me see if I can cast it. I can. Yeah, I'm getting shield instead. Oh, it is a range personal, but that means that I can put it on my buddy too.
Yeah. That does mean that you can't put it on any of your other buddies.
Yeah, everyone else has better armor than me, anyways.
No, that's fair. That's fair. All right, so that means you can get up to 19 AC at level 1. That's pretty good for a mage. All right. Next up, I want everybody to write down their touch and flat-footed ACs. So how touch AC works is it's your AC bonus without your armor. So it's basically just 10 plus your dex modifier. And that's going to be used in cases of things like certain spells where just being hit with it, regardless of whether it's on your armor, is going to hurt you. Or, for example, guns. If you're close enough firing a gun, then it'll always hit touch AC. And then there's also flat-footed AC, which is if you get caught off guard. So that's going to be just 10 plus your armor bonuses. And your shield bonus as well. So it's basically...
And size bonus.
Your dex bonus. Yes, size bonus as well.
So they're like the opposite of one another.
Kind of, yeah. So flat-footed is more if you hit somebody before they realize they're in combat, then you get to hit them for flat-footed. And then after you guys have that stuff, then it's down to just feats and traits if you want to have a trait. And if you do have a trait, then all I ask is that you have a good story reason for it. Just run it by me.
Just shield, does that work with touch and flatfoot, the shield spell?
It works with...
Shield only works for flatfoot. Doesn't work for touch.
Which is weird, because normally you'd have to actively put the shield between yourself and trouble.
It's weird, but mechanics.
Anyway, traits. Since I've got Fey magic, I guess magical knacks, because I'm used to using magic, and that also offsets the fact that I got a lower caster level later on.
What was the name of the trait again?
Magical knack.
Knack. Okay, yeah, I think I remember seeing that one earlier. Yeah.
There's a lot of traits.
Yeah, you don't need to worry so much about them. It's more like it's more like stuff if you just want to give yourself more flavor, because it's like half a feat.
Do we get 1 or 2 traits?
If you have a really good reason for 2 traits, I'll give you 2.
Okay.
But I personally don't necessarily want people going over 1. Again, if you have a good reason, though, by all means, let me know. Yeah, I'll give you a magical knack, Weimar.
Also, they have to be of different categories, so you can't have 2 social traits at once.
Right.
Something like that.
I had mine picked out, I just can't remember what they were.
If you want to worry about that later, since it's a pretty small thing, just don't worry about that. In terms of feats, I strongly recommend looking at things through the feat tree. One thing that the feat tree does neglect, though, is racial specific feats. So you will need to go to the racial feat page for that. But the feat tree is, in my opinion, the best way to actually look at feats. I know that there are a bajillion feats. So if you want some help, I myself, or probably Weimar as well, would be more than happy to help you out deciding.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the list and it goes on and on.
Oh, it goes forever. So,
yeah, I think I'm going to take endurance.
Yeah, well, the reason I like this particular representation of it is because there's the feat name on the left, and if it's indented, then that means it requires the feat before it, and also shows the prerequisite and a really quick description of it. So what you probably want to do is you probably want to Control F your class name or your race, because sometimes you'll find stuff specifically for your class or race that might be super useful. So, for example, bards have a feat called Lingering Performance, where the effects of the performance still continue after they've stopped for 2 rounds, and that's super useful. So that kind of stuff might be handy to find first. However, there are some feats which are basically always good, like basically anything that increases your AC. For example, dodge, or I think there's one called there's one for orcs and dwarves, I think, called like hardy or something. It's not called hardy because that's the dwarf thing.
Yeah. I decided
Irons.
I'm taking endurance.
All right, endurance does open up a pretty nice feat tree, and it's also just really good in general.
I'm actually aiming for a prestige class that has it as a requirement.
Oh, what prestige class?
That's a bit exclusive.
I think Stalwart Defender used to be the Dwarven Defender in 3.5.
Okay, cool. I'll look forward to that because I'm curious.
I want augment summoning, so I gotta take spell focus. That's happening.
And spell focus is really useful. So.
Yeah.
Oh wow, augment summoning seems crazy good.
It is.
Wow. That's
Especially
so useful for you.
Saga doesn't want to use his Eidolon for actual combat, so you have to rely on summon monsters.
Yeah, that's really good. There's Summoner's Call, which is one that basically just requires that you have an Eidolon, and it gets a +2 bonus to its strength, dex, and con.
But like, I'm going to be throwing animals rather than use my friend at the very least at first in fights. So.
Okay, well, keep in mind that you can't summon animals when your Eidolon is summoned.
Right, like I'm probably just going to like summon it away and then.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I just want to make sure that you're aware.
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay, can I run a trait by you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I want to choose the Armor Expert trait. It says you have worn armor as long as you can remember. In my case, because my character was basically a squire, like worked for a nobleman. When you wear armor of any sort, reduce the suit's armor check penalty by 1 to a minimum of 0.
That seems reasonable to me.
Okay.
Although that is a really good racial. That is a really good trait, actually. Now, keep in mind, raocow, you still can get 1 feat for your Eidolon as well.
All right. All right. Well, I got spell focus. Let's look for something fun for pineapple. Let's see here. So it can be anything, basically, as long as it fits.
And by the way, when I said earlier the 5 columns, I was looking at on another feed page. Where it just listed the name and nothing else.
Yeah, no, that page isn't quite as useful. There's a reason I like the feed tree page. It really gives you everything you need.
Yeah, I didn't see the link
sometimes,
after that.
Yeah, sometimes it leaves some details out, so I do recommend actually clicking on the link and checking the full feed page before deciding.
Oh, also, my trait, it only applies to armor, not to shield, so I'm not reducing the penalty on my shield.
Okay, that's good to know. Makes sense.
I would have liked quick draw, but I don't have base attack bonus +1. Darn.
Yeah, you do. And Paladins start with the base attack bonus +1, right?
I think it says +0 if I look. Yeah, level 1 BAB +0 on major space.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mixed up your voice with Weimar.
Yeah, no.
No.
Yeah, no, Maguses don't
How
start
dare
with
you
+1
mix
because-
us? No. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, no, Maguses are already crazy powerful early on. So,
Yeah.
like at level 2, you can enhance your weapon with Arcane Pool and then transmit a touch spell through it in order to stab somebody with stab damage as well as Shocking Grasp. In order to do like it gets up to like 3d6 plus your strength damage if you stab somebody with just like a normal sword. With that, it's crazy.
That's a bunch.
Yeah, at level 2, that's absolutely nuts. So once you've decided your feats and traits, what I want you to do is I want you to kind of give me what your backstory is. And if really what I want is like a text file with a few paragraphs about your character. But in lieu of that happening right now, I just want that in a page. I don't need that immediately. What I do want, though, is I want to know what city everybody's character is from.
I actually do have my backstory figured out already.
Okay, if you just want to write it out, or if you already have it written out, just send it to me.
Sure.
Yeah, I got an oral. I got a mental version, but I'll have to jot it down.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be a super long, complex story, but just give me an idea of who your character is, what they've been doing with their life thus far, and what might have brought them on this particular adventure.
Yeah. As for starting city, it doesn't really matter. Just any place that have a slum or similar. crappy living
All right,
conditions.
yeah. If you also want to give me the flexibility in your backstory, that's fine by me. I'm not gonna-
Riddleport is all slum.
Yeah, I mean that just makes it easier for me to place you wherever I want.
Yeah, it would basically be a discarded, half human, half vampire child that don't know his mother or father, that just hated life and
Seems
then
like a good resident of Riddleport.
What did you say?
Seems like potentially a good resident of Riddleport. Not to say that there aren't slums in other areas as well.
Yep.
It's a place for people who have nowhere else to go because nobody else would go there.
Because
You'll
it
never
sucks.
find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
This is a really nice casino, though.
Yeah, that's where the biggest villains are.
It's called the Golden Goblin Gambling Hall.
I think I'm actually going to live in Daventry, since you told me Sylves lives in the north. Normally.
That's
Yeah,
right.
in general, they tend to. You don't feel super attached to any particular location, though. If you want to, if like none of these locations really fit your character's backstory, feel free to make another city. My map is pretty malleable.
There's that one road that leads to the north, just to the left of the monastery, and there's nothing there. So that's like the perfect place for some city, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, if you really want to, go for it.
The Golden Goblin Gambling Hall, is that still running your campaign by Oric Van Kaskerkin?
Wow, you're really familiar with that, aren't you?
Yes, I prepared to run a Second Darkness campaign once, and it didn't get off the ground. But
That
I
was
studied
actually-
the first level adventure. Well.
That was actually my first Pathfinder campaign.
Oh,
Somebody
wow.
ran me through that, and I was actually a house ruled in Minotaur Bard named Grimdark Elf Puncher. I had a lot of fun with Grimdark Elf Puncher. He's currently security guard at the Golden Goblin Gambling Hall. Yeah, I'd say that he's still running the Golden Goblin
Okay.
Gambling Hall.
Do you mind if I write the backstory in a paste bin and just send you a link or something?
Yeah, no, that's just fine. Just as long as it's something that gives me a little bit to work with your character. And, how's everybody doing for their feat choices?
I'm done.
And
Cool.
I have no idea what to pick. If anything.
All right. Well, let's see. You're a magus, so you probably there's a lot of things you could go for.
Yeah.
Honestly, because you're a magus, though, you're probably going to be in the front lines more than most spellcasters.
Yep.
So you might want something with more AC. So how much dex do you have?
14. Well, +2, so a +3 modifier.
You could get dodge then. That gives you just a flat +1 dodge bonus to AC. It's kind of on the boring side, but it's really useful.
See.
Yeah, I mean, Ball has a point. Improve initiative is pretty.
Dodge bonus AC. Yeah, that
Initiative
sounds
wins.
good. I'll take dodge.
All right. Anybody else still having difficulty deciding?
I can decide whether I can't.
You'll probably go to heaven. Please don't hang your head and cry. All right. So I'm guessing everybody's roughly picked their feats or is willing to sit around and pick a few more after this is over. Any other traits that anybody wants me to look at?
I think
No.
I had one other, but I'm actually gonna forgo that.
All right. Well, if you do remember it and you want to put it in, just shoot me a message and I'll run it past everything else and make sure it fits.
I
So
put all my spells and spell known in the file thing.
yeah, if you wouldn't mind, there's a spells known column that I'd like people to put their stuff in because I just want to know what I can work with here. Keep in mind that Control Enter lets you put a second line.
Okay.
Okay.
Control enter. I was trying Shift enter, but that didn't work.
Yeah, I know that works in everything else except for Excel and Google Sheets.
The other trait that I was thinking of, it's a dwarf race trait called Clear-Headed. It says you see through deceptions and lies. You gain a +1 trait bonus on opposed checks against bluff and disguise, and a +1 trait bonus on saving throws against.
Is there a particular reason why your dwarf would be particularly good?
That's the thing.
Okay.
Not really. So that's why I was going to forgo it.
Okay.
Are there any notable noblemen or noble families from Daventry?
From Daventry, not that I've explored. So if you just want to make up a king's name, just make it somewhat human sounding, because I know that Daventry is run by humans.
King Graham?
You know what? Sure.
Okay. He secured my loyalty with his cream pies.
Oh, one thing about Order of the Dragon. Did you mark down that you also get Perception Survival as a class skill?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Just making sure you're covered there. All right. In that case...
among the racial stuff, there's a skill bonus. How much of a bonus is that?
For what?
Skill bonus, a skill modifier for escape artist and use magic device.
The bonuses for that from what?
Vetala born. Usually PV is bluff and perception. Usually.
Okay. Well, what does it say up here? Yeah, it says bluff and perception is +2, so yeah, it would be +2 for the Velveeta born.
Right.
All right. So once everybody gets me their backstories in a couple days, I'll be able to start seriously cranking down on getting all the details hammered out for the first session. I know what's going to happen. It's just a matter of putting all the locations and proper NPCs in place.
So you already got all our info, so we don't need us to send you anything for our character sheet or anything?
I'd like you to send me the full details if you can. This spreadsheet's more for quick reference.
You got mine in the advanced group, so anyone can take a look at it.
Sounds good. So yeah, just send me your whatever you have for your character sheet as well. And I'll work that into a standard Pathfinder character sheet and post that up in a Google Drive for everybody, for raocow to post it to the Patreon page if he so chooses, because I know a lot of people are interested in seeing how this all goes. And then next up, we need to decide when our next session is going to be. And so originally I thought that I'd be able to do it in 2 weeks, but I actually am busy the Saturday 2 weeks from now, which sucks, and it's not something I can avoid, unfortunately. However, I am free that Sunday, and I could potentially do that Friday. I don't know what everybody's schedules works out like, but could we potentially do Sunday the 12th, for example?
I'll say tentatively yes, but I'll have to clear it with my boss.
Okay.
I should not have any problems.
All right. Weimar?
Yeah? Sorry? I wasn't listening.
I'm good.
Basically, something came up for me on Saturday the 11th. Can you do Sunday the 12th instead for our second session? Okay.
Yeah, just make sure to put that in the schedule.
Yep, I'll mention that in the schedule chat, and then other than that, I think we're all set. Anybody have any last questions? Any concerns that you might have about your character? Anything at all?
Tell me, if I did anything wrong. And
all right, we'll do. I'm pretty sure that because of how I've walked everybody through, everybody's probably fine. But yeah, I will be double checking roughly anyways. I'll be taking a glance through. But yeah, I'm really excited, guys.
Me too.
The descriptor for our character, and the background stuff, is enough to put it on the spreadsheet.
I'm hoping for at least 2, maybe 3 paragraphs worth of information. So you basically, I want the spreadsheet to be for quick reference.
Yeah, okay.
But if there's for example, backstory stuff that you wouldn't be immediately forthcoming with for the rest of the party, then I want you to put that in the a more expansive backstory and send that to me.
Okay.
Doesn't need to be huge, but I just want something a little meatier so I can really understand where your character's coming from.
Yep.
All right. So, I will see if I can grab Horikawa and Terrence for making their characters, and hopefully we can actually do this on Sunday, the 12th. And otherwise, I'm really happy, guys. This is going to be really exciting.
So this
Great.
one was just significantly shorter than normal, but because normally
Yeah,
we'll
most
go
of the
like
time.
an hour more, maybe.
Yeah, probably closer to 3 to 4 hours.
Okay.
No more than 4, unless it's like a really intense session or like final session, or we really want to wrap something up. But it's going to be very rare that would happen.
I just
Sounds
remembered the stupid parasol umbrella thing I was writing about earlier.
Yep, that will not cost you any gold because it's a detriment.
Okay.
You can just start with that in your inventory. Although in your backstory, I want some more details of maybe where you got that and give me exactly details on what it means.
Yep, sure.
Like in what way it's cursed, how it hinders you, and whatever. Sound good?
Yep, sounds good.
All right. Last round of questions. Anything at all?
I mean, honestly, I
What's
think
your
it's one
shoe
where-
size?
10.5 American.
I don't know what it means because it's American size, I guess.
If a powerful wizard, no.
All right. Well, I will chat with you guys in voice chat again, hopefully on the 12th. Otherwise, I'll chat with you in this chat.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm really excited. Catch you guys then.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.